What's your initial reaction to those numbers? A bit of an upside surprise there.
Oh, well, but it's pretty much aligned with what the market has expected. Because last week, governor kind of hinted to the market like a Korea growth is going to be 1.9 in first half, meaning around 2.1 in first half. So we are expecting around 1 or 1.1% for today.
But Korea really dodging a bullet there in terms of avoiding a technical recession. What turned things around? Was it this government infrastructure spending, welfare spending? Is that what saved the day, or is fundamentally things more sound in Korea than we thought?
Yeah, as you said, it's a government spending. Government budget was actually saving the second quarter. But if you look at the fourth quarter, even though government actually executed the budget, it was not implemented in local government. So I think it is implemented in local government in second half. So there was a saving the growth for second half.
What can we expect in terms of the recovery in semiconductors, given how much this takes in the growth of South Korea? We keep saying we're going to see a bottom, for semiconductors, and yet that bottom is not coming.
Yeah, well, when we look at just last month's semiconductor data, price went down around 30%. The price has been the leading indicator for the semiconductor. So, which means the semiconductor will not bottom out in second half. Probably we should expect in probably next year. So, semiconductor slowdown is going to be the big burden to Korea's growth. But other sectors like machinery and auto is actually can pick it up in second half of the year, so they can drive the facility investment in second half. So I think facility investment has been a negative growth for the first half, over a double digit. But in second half, probably because of the base effect, and I think facility investment will pick it up in second half, grow like a positive number.
And of course, Chong Hoon, we're still not seeing the impact of the Japan export curbs that happened earlier this month, right? These are the second quarter numbers. How big of an impact will this have as compared to other trade tensions around the world, like China, U.S., and so forth?
Yeah. I think if the impact is biting Korea, it's going to be much bigger than the trade tension between U.S. and China. For example, what if Korea's semiconductor export decreased by 10% because of the dispute with Japan? If the 10% of export can easily cause up 0.2% point of the Korea's growth, then Korea will grow below a 2% level of growth. So economic impact is going to be too huge. So it's really hard to pin it down. What if it is a kind of spillover to other industry? It's going to be much bigger than a trade tension between U.S. and China.
Are we seeing some of the impact, though, being reflected in expectations for earnings? And we have a chart here on the Bloomberg terminal that reflects that. EPS, earnings per share estimates, are being cut now at the fastest pace since the financial crisis. So in terms of leading indicators, what does that tell us about the health of South Korea's economy going forward in this difficult trade environment?
Well, I think right now it is hard to kind of price all the uncertainty. So somehow a market is a bit hesitant to price all the externalities. But looking at just the macro number, headwinds looks much stronger to Korea's growth than the tailwind.
Now let's talk a little bit about some external sort of random factors and occurrences, especially on geopolitics, because this morning we have seen now Japan confirming that short-range ballistic missiles were launched by North Korea, according to Kyodo News. Of course, we know that this is always an ongoing issue. Will it really make that much of a difference to the South Korean economy, or at least to the markets in terms of sentiment, perhaps?
Well, usually the North Korea action is more impacted by the reaction by the U.S. So that is going to be more important than North Korea action itself. But somehow the market has been lukewarm to North Korea action itself. So it's not going to impact the sentiment because there is nothing much between us and North Korea economically.
Sure, and this is also a short-range missile, right? Not an intercontinental ballistic missile that would worry the United States.